So welcome to my kitchen. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome to Cooking Today. Glad you're here. I've got some really great recipes, good easy ones, loads of flavor. That's kind of my mode of operation around here, isn't it? Not too hard, but tastes real good. Should that be a t-shirt? Maybe we should come up with a t-shirt like that. Not too hard, tastes real good. That's what we've got going again today. Easy, approachable family meal that you can make. This is a good little summertime one. And I'll tell you kind of where I got the idea for this. We have been on vacation this summer, and my daughter wanted to go to the food trucks in this little seaside town that we were staying in. Well, seaside, I don't know if y'all have been down that way. Specifically, she wanted to go to the grilled cheese food truck. It is so delicious. Of course, they have plain grilled cheese, you know, just the plain one, which my son Luke gets because he's not very adventurous. Love you, buddy. Anyway, Gracie wanted, you know, all the fun, you know, special ones. So she got one that had like prosciutto and a fancy cheese and some kind of like strawberry preserve on it. And I got pulled pork because you know how much I love pulled pork. I got a pulled pork one that had gruyere and caramelized onions on a really good bread. And I don't know exactly what the spread was that was on this sandwich, this grilled sandwich. It was delicious. If I could have asked them for a little vat of it to take home, I would have. But it was sweet. And I started thinking, I'm gonna make those at home. Do y'all ever do that? Like go to a restaurant and think, I love this enough, I'm gonna try to figure it out. I do it all the time. I go and I taste something and we get our forks and we take a little bite and we try to figure out what that is and what do we love about it. And then I open my notes on my phone and I start writing. This has got this and this has got this and I think I taste this. And so that's kind of how I come up with a lot of my recipes, as a matter of fact, if you really want to know. So that's what we're doing today. We're making this pulled pork, caramelized onion, gruyere, yummy grilled cheese sandwich. And I am making, to go on it, my sweet spread is going to be a little sweet mustard. Sweet as in apple jelly, because apples and pork just go together, don't they? Isn't there a movie quote? Pork chops and applesauce? Kind of like that. I would not do that voice right now. I can hear it in my head. But I'm not doing it. If Sam were here, he would have done it. So we're making a delicious sandwich inspired by the grilled cheese food truck meal that I had when we were on our vacation. But first, I had to show y'all, speaking of our vacation, well, speaking of every day around here, we drink sweet tea all the time at my house. We absolutely love it. I make it on Sundays. I make it every time that the crew is here and we are making recipes for y'all. But Lipton has this new product that is kind of taking my sweet tea and kind of send it over the moon. So, you know, I'm making regular sweet tea like I do. I boiled a little water on the stove, put about 1.5 cups of sugar in the bottom. And while that is hot and the sugar's in the bottom, I'm just gonna stir that to dissolve the sugar. Now I know what you're thinking. Anybody can make sweet tea, but listen to me. I'm 40 something. And I've made a lot of sweet tea, and I really think there's a method to the madness, and I'm showing you what I think it is. I think it's dumping that sugar in with that hot water right off the bat and stirring it. You're kind of making like a simple syrup. And then, I'll lay that right there. I do 4 regular bags of tea. And I don't pull the little tags off and I don't hang them. I just drop them right down in there and make sure that they're down inside the water. Now, here's the new flavor. Let me see what they call it. Luscious Herbal Tea, Peach Mango. So there's little 20 tea bags in here. It's peach tea. Now this one actually does come in a little paper pouch, so you do want to pull that out. And it's just a little guy, not a big old one, but I mean, it is like peach fabulousness. And all I do is drop one of these bags down in my tea. Do y'all ever go to those barbecue restaurants? There's one in Fayetteville that I love. And they have those good big vats, like the big silver vats of like flavored tea, like peach or raspberry. This tastes like that good barbecue restaurant or fried chicken restaurant flavored tea. So just one of those peach mango bags down inside with my 4, regular tea bags in my good sugary water. And I let this sit for about 10 minutes. I do agree, method to the madness, that anything much longer than 10 minutes kind of starts to make your tea taste a little bit bitter. And so I really do like to just kind of watch this and let this just steep away. And that peach bag that's dropped down in there, over the top, and so good and summery. Okay, I'm gonna let these steep. When we come back, if this is done, we're gonna top this off with ice. We'll mess with it in a little bit, and we're gonna get going on these sandwiches. I cannot wait for you to try this. It's so good. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company.
Hi, welcome back. Glad you're with me today. I'm making a grilled cheese sandwich. Not just a grilled cheese sandwich, so don't turn it off. A pulled pork, caramelized onion, gruyere, and apple mustard grilled cheese sandwich. Isn't that better? Aren't you glad you hung around? It is so good. Let me tell you, and this peach tea that we're making, it's steeping right now and it smells fantastic. It is just perfect to top off this sandwich. Okay, we're never short on pulled pork around here. We have a recipe that we've made before in the brazier and roasted it, in the oven. My husband is always smoking some kind of meat down there, and so we bag it up and we freeze it and we keep it. And so I have about 2 cups or so, maybe 3 cups of pulled pork that I have put in my little saucepan, and I'm just going to let that get a little heat on it. Don't want to cook it, but just kind of get a little heat on it, because there's some fat in pulled pork, and when it chills or refrigerates, kind of firms up, and we are just kind of wanting to loosen that down. You could also microwave it on low, but sometimes I just feel like microwaves get away from us, and then it ends up cooking it, and we don't really want to cook it anymore. We just kind of want to warm it. So if you choose to microwave your pulled pork, do it carefully. Then we are going to caramelize some onions. And I just have, this is just a Vidalia onion, which I love. They are sweet and they're a little bit mild. They are southern, which I love. And so I've just got a little sweet onion. It's got a funny spot. I'm gonna pull that out. And I'm gonna just make rings of, not even rings, just these little halves. And we're just gonna get those in a skillet. We do this a lot here. The flavor of caramelized onions in just about anything, it's amazing, the flavor. They're so sweet. I know if y'all are not an onion fan, like my mom, she's been on here before, she can't stand onions. But if you cook them down far enough where they get sweet, she doesn't even know. I think sometimes I've even snuck some in dishes that I've served to her and not told her. And she always says, I can sniff out an onion a mile away. She can't. If you cook them down really, really well and they get sweet, they don't have that bite that onions have, the one that kind of stings your nose, like right now. No, but cook it down and they're amazing. And it gives us this little bit of sweet. So we are going to put these in just a little saute pan over about, I don't know, medium heat or so. And I'm gonna give it just a swirl of oil and then drop these in here. And they're in their little rainbows right now, they're little half moons, but they're gonna just kind of come apart a little bit at a time as we start to cook them. And I'll just leave my ear on the onions as they cook. You kind of cook with your ears, cook with your eyes. You certainly cook with your nose. When you start to smell things like garlic, as soon as you start to smell garlic on the stove, it's done, and we need to get some, liquid on it. Okay, let's make our little sauce here. This is my little version, my rendition that I just kind of came up with because I thought, what do I like with pork? What do I like with caramelized onions? I love a little mustardy something with those caramelized onions and gruyere, but I love apple with pork. So we're making this delicious little spread that's going to go on our sandwiches. And all it is 6 tablespoons of apple jelly. And apple jelly doesn't even have apples in it. And this is not apple butter. I would not use apple butter. I stopped counting. Timmy tells me 5. I gotta go one more. 6. Am I good? Talking and counting, it is not my spiritual gift, that is for sure. And then, just a good tablespoon, probably a heaping tablespoon or so, of Dijon mustard. I keep every kind of mustard in the world in my, sorry, I squeaked. I squeezed that when I opened it and it just came out. Oh, brother. All right. So did I say a heaping tablespoon? I really meant it. It's heaping and then some. It'll be good though. Love mustard. I was just about to say, I love mustard and I keep a ton of it in my refrigerator, all different kinds, like stone ground and regular yellow and Dijon. They are great little kind of emulsifiers and dressings and sauces, and in this little spread that we're making right now. That could have been a big old mess, but it wasn't, thank heavens. Okay, I'm gonna just give this a little stir till it's really nice and combined. I can hear that my onions are starting to saute and do their thing, so I'm gonna check on those. And when we come back, we're gonna build these sandwiches. I'm gonna show you some really great tips on how to get a really good grilled cheese. And we're gonna sip on a little sweet tea, peach tea. This is Cooking Today.
Iced tea, sponsored by Lipton.
What I love most about the farmers market is the music, the art, the food, the people themselves. That's local, that's Fayetteville.
Local means homegrown.
My kids can run around, they can choose what she wants to get and eat.
I like growing and selling directly to the public.
The market is kind of what community ought to be.
Visit us Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on the square.
The Fayetteville Farmers Market.
100% local.
And love.
Hi, welcome back. We are making these wonderful, rich, and really good grilled cheese sandwiches that have pulled pork and gruyere and caramelized onions and this delicious apple mustard that I've just kind of mixed up right here. And we have topped off our tea bags that steeped for 10 minutes in our sugar water. Easy as that. I just pulled those right out and then topped it off with ice all the way up to fill my gallon. It is such an easy little recipe for sweet tea. And like I said, we make it all the time. And so we've started putting that little peach bag in there, and it is really good for summer. Y'all need to look for that. It is delicious. We are big fans around here. Okay, I have just taken a little bit of this Gruyere cheese. It comes in this nice long, kind of like a little, rectangle, cube. It's a little bit expensive. It goes a long way, but it's got a lot of good big flavor, and it melts beautifully. And so what we don't use today on this, I'll just bag that up and store it, and I'll use it for something else another day. It's delicious. I love it. Okay, so what we've got, let me tell you, I have my, it's getting a little hot. I have my nonstick skillet. I have a little Le Creuset nonstick skillet that I really like, and a lid. The lid is very important when you're making a grilled cheese, because a lot of times the headache of a grilled cheese is that the outside gets toasty and then everything on the inside is cold, or the cheese didn't melt. That's kind of the grief, isn't it, of a grilled cheese? And part of the way, probably 2 things that I do to help kind of ensure that everything on the inside is warm. For starters, warm the ingredients. I could have used that pulled pork straight out of the refrigerator or freezer and not warmed it, but it's not going to be in there too long, and it's not going to be in there long enough to actually heat the pork. I caramelized those onions to get that great flavor and make them nice and tender, and they're warm. The cheese is shredded. I really find that shredded cheese, because there are smaller pieces of it, actually melt a little bit quicker than if you were to do a full piece of cheese. Do you see how that works? Just smaller cheese. And so that's kind of my thing on the inside. My tip for the outside is use a skillet that has a lid. And if you don't have a skillet that has a lid, then you could use like a little metal bowl or something like that, just to kind of basically put a dome over it, because the heat from the top, the heat on the bottom is what grills your sandwich on the bottom. But the heat on the top from the lid is what helps melt the cheese. And so there is really a little bit of rhyme or reason to how to do this. So I'm just going to make 2 today. I've gone ahead and put on our little sweet spread. I'm doing a little bit of cheese on the bottom because the cheese is the glue. It's what melts and kind of helps hold everything together. So I did a little cheese on the bottoms. Here, I'm going to do my bottoms here, and there will be my tops. Then I've got my caramelized onions that I'm going to pile on my sandwiches. Oh my goodness, these aren't even cooked, and they smell fantastic. Just all the flavors, just flavor, top to bottom, in and out. Okay, caramelized onions. And if you had another idea for something to put on here, just go for it. I mean, it's your grilled cheese. You know, we all love that Fayetteville restaurant ham and cheese, ham and trees, ham and cheese, ham and trees. It's delicious, and they put just about anything on there. So the sky is the limit. Then our pulled pork, and you know how I said I heated it so that you could kind of shred it up a little bit. And then lastly, we're going to do just the littlest bit of cheese right on the top to kind of glue the bread to the fillings. Oh, does that look good or what? Okay, a little bit more of this shredded gruyere, whatever you like to say. And then top them. Look at that. Another thing that really helps with a good grilled cheese, especially one that's loaded, to give it a little bit of pressure on it. You know, like when you put it in your skillet, when you first set it down, go ahead and give it a little press on, you know, on the skillet. Okay, I'm moving over here. First things first, we're gonna do a little butter. Okay, and then here we go. Gonna set these down. Oh my word. I'm going to do one at a time. Set that down, make sure that it is in the butter. Give it a press for a second, and then dome that. You can let a little bit of the steam escape so that the steam on the top doesn't make them soggy, but it will trap that heat and melt that cheese. Whether you're making a fancy grilled cheese or a regular one, that is a great little tip. I'm gonna flip them and check on them when we come back. We're gonna see what these good looking sandwiches are looking like and drink our sweet tea. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome back. Oh my goodness, it smells so good in here. Made this peach tea that I just cannot wait to drink. It's just so hot outside, and that just hits the spot. We've grilled these gorgeous sandwiches until they are just perfect. The cheese is gooey and beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't think you got to even see and enjoy the string when I pull it apart. And then this one just cooked in a little bit of butter. And you know, we domed it so that everything inside would get delicious and melty. Look at that cheese, where that cheese comes over the side of a grilled cheese sandwich and it kind of hits down there in the butter on that skillet. Oh, best bite right there. And then I love to serve these sandwiches with one more little bowl of this good sauce to just dunk them in, dip them in. We are dunkers and dippers around here. We love a little sauce for just about everything. And this is no exception. Beautiful. Isn't that a fun little sandwich? Reminds me of the beach, my time away with my family. It was so fun. I hope you'll try this recipe at home. It's a good one. Love every bite. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company. Kitchenware is provided by Una Mays. Groceries provided by Harps, Hometown Fresh. Online Elements sponsored by Fayetteville Farmers Market.